Good day, I am Janine, and in this video, we are going to go over the skewness in relation to central tendency. But first, let's start with the game. This is Guess the Word. I'll give you 10 seconds to comment the word. Your time starts now. If your answer is skewness, you are correct. Now, let us define what is skewness. Skewness. Skewness describes how a data distribution leans. In a normal distribution curve, data is distributed equally into both sides of the peak, or the average value. That's called the bell curve. Skewness can be negative or positive. If the distribution curve has a positive skewness, data piles upon the peak's left side and the curve's tail points right. In a curve with negative skewness, data piles upon peak's right side and the tails point left. Skewness is a measure of the asymmetry of a distribution. Now that we know what is skewness, we're going to proceed to the proper discussion. Firstly, we're going to tackle about symmetrical. Next will be right skewed and left skewed distribution. The first one we're going to consider is a symmetrical distribution. Now if you ask, why is this a symmetrical distribution? Observe that if I draw a line right in the middle, notice that the left side is basically identical to the right side, and so that makes this a symmetrical distribution. And right in the middle, we're going to have the mean, and this also represents the median, which is written in capital M. Now, on the x-axis, we basically have the values, and on the y-axis of this graph represents the frequency of those values. Now, what do you think the mode is? The mode is located at the point with the highest frequency. Basically, the value that appears most often. So, the value with the highest frequency is here. In summary, a symmetrical distribution, the mean, median, and mode are all equal. Now, here's another distribution for you to consider. Would you say it's symmetrical? Or would you say it's skewed to the right? Or skewed to the left? So, notice that we have this tail of data on the right side. Therefore, the distribution is said to be skewed to the right. Some textbooks will refer to this as a positive skewed. Now, where's the mean, the median, and the mode in this case? The median is going to be here, represented by capital M. Now, where is the mean relative to the median? So, because the data is skewed to the right, the mean is going to be to the right of the median. Thus, we can say that the mean is greater than the median. And you ask, what about the mode? The mode occurs at the highest frequency, so basically at the top of this graph. So the mode would be right here. In this part, we will move on to the third distribution that you need to be familiar with. In this case, notice the tail of data is on the left side. Therefore, we could say that this particular distribution is skewed to the left. Some textbooks will refer to this as a negative skewed. Now, the median will be somewhere in this region. So where is the mean with respect to the median? Will the mean be to the left or to the right of the median? So because the data is skewed to the left, the mean is going to be to the left of the median. And that's one way in which you can remember. Therefore, the mean is less than the median. And as we know, the mode is going to be basically where the data is at its highest point. So the mode is the value with the highest frequency. In this portion, we will solve given problems and prove whether it is symmetrical, right skewed, or left skewed. In order to prove these problems, follow these steps. Step 1. Find the mean. In order to find the mean, use the formula summation of x all over n. Step 2. Find the median. To find the median, arrange the data into ascending order, and if it's odd number, find the middle value, and if it's even number, add the two middle data and divide by 2. Step 3. Find the mode. To find the mode, find the data that appears the most often, and that will be our mode. Problem number 1. Let us say there are 10 men in a colony whose age group are as follows: 55, 35, 27, 35, 24, 77, 65, 45, 26, and 29. Prove whether it is symmetrical, right, or left skewed. To prove problem number 1, let's follow the steps. Step number 1. Find the mean. To find the mean, use the formula summation of x all over n. Next, arrange the data in ascending order and divide it by 10. You will get 422 over 10, and that would be 42.2 or 42. Step number 2. Find the median. Since the data is even number, get the two middle values and divide it by 2. You will get 36, and that would be our median. Step number 3. Find the mode. As what I said earlier, mode is the data that appears most often in the data set, and in this problem, that would be 29. Now that we know the central tendency of this problem, let us go back to these cases. Notice that in this problem, the mean is greater than the median and the mode. Therefore, it is positively skewed. To understand more, let's visualize the data distribution of this problem through making a graph. Let's have this graph as a guide since this is a positively skewed data. Notice that the mean is greater than the median and the mode. Then the set of datas are forming a symmetrical bell curve that is skewed to the right. Now start by placing the median in the middle, and since this is a positive skewed, the mean will be at the right of the median, while the mode is on the left. Did you get the answer for number 1? If not, don't fret, we still have 3 problems to solve. Now, let's have problem number 2. In Class C, a test has been conducted given the following results: 45, 47, 48, 50, 53, 55, 57, 62, 63, 63, 67, 69, 70, 72, and 86. Prove whether it is a symmetrical distribution, right or left skewed. To prove problem number 2, simply follow the steps. Step number 1. Find the mean. To find the mean, use the formula summation of x all over n. Next, arrange the data in ascending order, divided by 15. You will get 907 over 15, and that would be 60.4 or 60. Step number 2. Find the median. Since the data is an odd number, just simply find the middle value, which is 62. Step number 3. Find the mode. As what I said earlier, mode is the data that appears most often in the data set, and in this problem, that would be 63. Now that we know the central tendency of this problem, let us go back to these cases. Notice that in this problem, the mean is less than the median and the mode. Therefore, it is a negatively skewed. For my visual learners out there, let's visualize the data distribution of this problem through making a graph. Let's have this graph as a guide since this is a negatively skewed data. Notice that the mean is less than the median and the mode. Then the set of datas are forming a symmetrical bell curve that is skewed to the left. Now, start by placing the median in the middle, and since this is a negatively skewed, the mean will be at the left of the median while the mode is on the right. Last sample problem before we proceed to the final one. Problem number 3. A 20 sample data was taken from a fun run event giving the time consumed by the participants in minutes: 48, 45, 44, 51, 48, 50, 45, 52, 48, 56, 48, 51, 49, 46, 45, 44, 52, 50, 48, and 48. To prove this problem, follow these steps. Step number 1. Find the mean. To find the mean, use the formula summation of x all over n. Next, arrange the data in ascending order. Divided by 20, you will get 968 over 20, and that would be 48.4 or 48. Step number 2. Find the median. Since the data is even number, get the two middle values and divide it by 2. You will get 48. Step number 3. Find the mode. Notice that the data that appears most often in the data set is 48. Now that we know the central tendency of this problem, let us go back to these cases. Notice that in this problem, the mean is equal to the median in the mode. Therefore, it is a symmetrical distribution. In this portion, let's visualize the data distribution of this problem through making a graph. The given set of data are evenly distributed, thus showing a symmetrically bell curve. To have an evenly distributed data, the mean, median, and mode must be equal, and as given in the example, this meets the case. In a bell curve with no skewness, both mean, median, and mode are located right in the middle of the curve. In conclusion, skewness is a measure of the asymmetry of a distribution of data. It tells us whether the data is evenly distributed around the central tendency or if it's skewed to the one side or the other. As we learn this topic, it is important to note that this has utmost relevance in real life. For example, consider a company that is trying to understand the distribution of salaries among its employees. If the data is skewed to the right, with a small number of highly paid employees, it may indicate that there is a significant income gap within the company. This could be relevant for the company's human resources department as they try to address issues of pay equity and employee satisfaction. Another example might be in the field of public health, where skewness could be used to understand the distribution of a particular disease or health condition within a population. Overall, skewness can be an important tool for understanding the distribution of data and identifying patterns and trends that may not be immediately apparent when looking at the central tendency alone. Now, on to our final problem. Consider the marks obtained by 10 students in a mathematics test as given below: 55, 36, 95, 75, 60, 42, 25, 78, 75, and 62. Prove whether it is symmetrical distribution, right or left skewed. Show your solution. That's all for this video. Hopefully, you have a better understanding of skewness and its relation to central tendency. Have a aesthetic day. Goodbye.